Lord Jamar,
Vlad,
welcome back.
was good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's been a few months.
Yeah.
Something big has happened since we met up last time.
What's that?
Trump got elected.
Oh, motherfucker.
Were you expecting it?
No.
I wasn't either.
Nope.
I don't think Trump was.
Probably not.
Like, all the polls at any point had Trump as losing.
I sat here, and said that I believed that he was put into the race to assure a win for Hillary.
Right.
But then I also said, if he were to win, it would show how ill this country is, psychologically.
R.A. the Rugged Man got on Vlad TV and said, he has
You
a
want to
shot.
put money on it? You want to bet $100,000? Let's bet $500,000. Let's bet everything that I own. Let's bet everything. He has no shot. And I would have told you this a year ago, 2 years ago. He has no shot.
Well, see, here's what happened. I thought, as I said, that Trump was inserted to scare black people into voting for Hillary.
Yeah.
The real thing, the reality that happened was Obama's presidency scared white people into voting for Trump.
And I think black people just didn't vote.
Black people, they voted. Did they vote in the numbers that they voted when Obama, first ran? Absolutely not. But every single black person in America could have voted for Hillary, and she still wouldn't have won. Because it wasn't black people who even put Obama in office. It was liberal white people at the time who bought into the whole, let's make change and all this type of shit message. Now, after, 8 years of Obama and, white people that feel like America is for white people, they're like, enough. We need a white man back in the office, not a white woman. We need a white man. We need an anti-Obama. So Obama is smooth, handsome guy. We need a rough, ugly guy. You know what I mean?
A rough, ugly guy.
Obama is
Right.
fucking, diplomatic. We need somebody who just don't give a fuck and is brash. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everything that Trump is, or everything that Obama is, Trump is the antithesis of that. If Obama, wants to be understanding with people, Trump is gonna be like, fuck that. You know what I mean? One of the first things he wants to do is dismantle the Obamacare, which is supposed to be like one of the hallmarks of Obama's presidency. So it's just like he's the anti-Obama, and it's white people that put him into office. Make no mistake about it. I believe even some of these white people that was talking all this Hillary shit, when they went in the booth, bling, they hit Trump and then came out, yeah, I voted for Hillary. No, you didn't.
Right, because it ain't group voting. It ain't like, okay, we're all going to vote together. We get to see what you're voting for. No, you go in that booth by yourself. And you can
individually
do
and see. And that's the thing. Like, we live in a society where people are not disciplined in the times they need to be. And I say that meaning like, you need to be the most disciplined when nobody's looking at you.
Yeah.
You say you about some shit, but when nobody's looking, what are you doing? You know what I mean? You say you don't eat pork, and then there's a ham sandwich and you're hungry and nobody's around. Are you gonna fucking eat that shit? You see what I'm saying? That shows what type of person and constitution of a man or woman that you are. And we're in a society where they reward the weakness. They reward you for grabbing that ham sandwich. Nobody's gonna see. Go ahead, eat it.
Well, you know what I saw in 2016 as a whole, but with Trump in particular, is that there was a point in time, like, for example, let's just look at George Bush Sr.'s campaign. When he campaigned, his famous phrase was what?
Hard on crime.
Well, there was that too, but it was read my lips.
Oh, no new taxes.
New taxes.
And then what did he do?
He raised taxes.
Right.
And many people believe that was the reason why he didn't get reelected.
Okay.
He swore to people that he would not give any new taxes. When he got in office, he raised taxes, he created new taxes, and so forth.
Right.
Trump lied all throughout the presidency, all throughout the elections.
Okay.
He just made up shit. He got caught with shit. He grabbing pussies and this, that, and he promised to build a wall. He promised to ban Muslims. Like it's just the type of the new health care is going to be so much. I'm gonna tear down Obamacare, like you just talked about, and they said that like to actually tear down Obamacare is billions of dollars.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Leave millions of people now.
Yeah.
Without health insurance.
Without health care, you know, he promised to do all these things. He promised to. I mean, not only build a wall, but Mexico will pay for it. You know, and then the ex-Mexican president said, we're not paying for your fucking wall. Like, he actually said that.
Oh, like that.
Like that. He said, we're not paying for your fucking wall. Yeah, the ex-president of Mexico.
Paying for your fucking wall, carnal. Fucking guy.
And, you know, that he's going to force China to change all its rules and everything else like that.
So what's the point?
My point is that there's all this shit he's talking about that's just not possible for the president to do. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's him, Obama, anybody else. He's going to get in office and he's going to be proven to be a liar on just case after case after case. And
what?
And what I'm saying is, I just don't think there'll be any repercussions. I think people are just used to
exactly. There won't be.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, so what?
Yeah, people are just.
We're in a hypocritical society.
Right.
We're in a duplicitous society that accepts shit. There'll be people like, of course he lied to get in. That's what you do. Like, you're in America. You do what you do to get where you need to get, and the ends always justifies the means.
Trump has the worst case of Twitter fingers I've ever seen.
Whoa. Especially for somebody that's supposed to be a leader.
A leader. Like, he bashes everyone who talks bad about him. He bashed Meryl Streep. He bashed Alec Baldwin.
Just because she talked shit about him, like in an eloquent way.
Which is what.
But now you're gonna try to attack. Oh, she's one of the most overrated actresses. Like,
how many Oscars does this woman have?
Plus nominations, great performance, and it's just like, how petty is that though?
Right.
Like,
he's the
for your president, for your leader to be so petty. And for motherfuckers to like that is crazy. It just shows you where we're at. Like, if you think about it, like, what even qualifies people to be a leader? You see, this is the difference between, like, in traditional African society, right? In order to be a leader, you have to go through an initiation. And part of that initiation has to deal with your morals and your character and your spiritual development. All of that is combined to help make you a leader. This is why there was no police and shit like that in Africa and shit like that. The leaders had the moral and spiritual values in order to truly lead. So they weren't going to be corrupted by power and shit like that. You understand? By money and shit like that. Like, most of the time they're working in the service of a higher power.
Right. And being a leader, you know, as a CEO, I've definitely made a lot of mistakes over the years. And the more I read books of other CEOs, other great companies and so forth. Like the more you learn about how important the people are and how important it is for you to work with your people and how you're really working for the people that work for you. It's not a one-way street. It's not like these are my minions. Like these are people who,
But that's
without
when
them,
you start to look at things like that
yeah,
and look at the world like that, because you have no values. You can get corrupted. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? And it's like America prides itself on saying the separation of church and state.
right.
But what's so great about that? Like, if you think about it, if there is no sort of like spiritual law that helps to hold the people together, once you separate church from state, which means, you know, in as how I look, and I don't mean just the traditional Catholic church or something, but I just mean spirituality from all things. Once you separate all these things instead of incorporating them, that's when you got fucking problems. So all these motherfuckers are just moralists, fucking people that just don't give a fuck about nothing but money and power, and you know what I mean? Don't care about people, look at people as minions and you know, objects to be, you know, done with as they will.
Did you see Donald Trump's New Year's tweet?
Happy New Year to all, including to my many enemies, and those who have fought me and lost so badly. They just don't know what to do. Love.
Oh shit, that was hilarious.
Happy New Year to all, including to my many enemies and those who have fought me and lost so badly they just don't know what to do. Love.
Yo.
I mean, this is the president, yo. Like this is who is supposed to represent America. Like I'm embarrassed as an American. I'm just embarrassed. Like this is. Can you imagine any other leader of a country saying this? It's just fucking embarrassing.
But it's more than embarrassing. It's almost frightening.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what a man like this can do. You see, like, if he feels this way off of people saying little eloquent shit and he gets hurt by that, how about all the people that say fuck Trump? What's he want to do to those people?
Yeah, no, what about the people that actually do things? What about like the other countries who react and, you know,
Right.
actually set up different policies based on the way he's acting? You know, you could say fuck China and about all this type of shit, but the reality is that we're in a global economy. We can't just say we're going to cut off China. We can't just say we're going to cut off Mexico. It just doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. Like the whole world will get thrown into a state of disaster for a certain amount of time until things get worked out. Like you can't just sit there. There's billions of dollars going back and forth. This
You
is
need
not
all
just,
these cogs to work together.
Yeah, exactly. Like America is not Trump's company. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
Trump could do whatever he wants with his companies. He could deal with his suppliers and his employees however he wants. That's his shit. It's fine. It's a small piece of the wheel in the grand scheme of things. But America and the world is set up a certain type of way. This is a global economy. You are not the king of America. You're the president of America.
I mean, this isn't a corporation, though. It is a company. You know what I mean?
They're all companies, but it's not his company. He is not the
Right.
owner.
But he probably believes it's his company.
Of course he does.
And that's dangerous.
Very
You
much
see?
so.
That's dangerous.
What did you think about Kanye meeting with Trump? And along with Kanye, it was Ray Lewis and Jim Brown as well.
I mean, Jim Brown, I know for you know, working in the hood and working
Yeah.
with gangs and all that
So
type of shit.
that was the one athlete in like was he the 70s? The 60s, something like that?
Late 60s, yeah.
Yeah, 70s. He was the one athlete that actually spoke out against injustice and so forth. He put his job on the line.
And he been in the community. You know what I mean? Like, I know gangbangers that was going, yo, we be up at Jim Brown's crib, just chilling. Like, he let bangers go in his crib and just chill, like, just to have a place to be type of shit. You understand what I'm saying? So, I don't know Jim Brown's motivation. I'm sure it's something positive. I'm sure he had his reasoning. Now, to me, why I feel why your boy Kanye was there was totally on some, you know, egotistical bullshit.
Yeah.
Meaning, you know, there's been quite a few times where this nigga Obama has said shit about Kanye, like, yo, Kanye need to relax, you know. Like when he said they the most famous couple and da-da-da-da-da, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, he called him a jackass.
Right. So he calls Kanye a jackass. Not only that, he gives Jay-Z and Beyonce carte blanche to the motherfucking White House. You understand?
Right.
They was in the White House every other fucking week, it looked like. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, didn't Beyonce sing in his
Hell
inauguration?
yeah. And then after that, it was on. Like,
It was on.
That's why he was like, I got Obama's number on him. Jay-Z even said some shit like that in a rhyme or whatever.
Yeah.
So now, Kanye's not liking that type of shit. You understand? The egotistical motherfucker that he is, he don't like the fact that Jay and Beyonce is going to the White House every other fucking week and he's not getting no invite. Matter of fact, he's being called a jackass by this man, right? So now that they're on the that Obama's on his way out, he sees an in for himself. Wait a minute. Not just Jay-Z and Beyonce, but a whole slew of black celebrities are about to get their White House pass revoked. Okay? I can be one of the only ones. You understand what I'm saying? Because there'll be new ones. I'm talking about the old guard of black celebrities who were pro-Obama, pro-Hillary.
The Chance the Rappers,
Your days in the White House are done. But, I mean, I wouldn't give a fuck.
Right, no,
I'm just saying.
I think
like,
a lot of the
for
black,
some people, that's a big thing.
But I think a lot of the black celebrities also don't want to go to the White House and meet with Trump. You know
Kanye
what I mean?
does.
Right. I mean, for example, like I think like you know the Miami Heat was said like you know if
No,
they
they
win,
not that they don't want to be at the White House and meet with Trump. They liked when Obama was there and had carte blanche to the White House. This is what I'm telling you. And just the cachet of, you know, having pictures of you and the president and da-da-da-da-da when you go in your crib, like, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
a good look. Like, yeah, I've been to people's cribs that's, yo, you got pictures with the president type of shit.
right.
So it's like, this nigga Kanye want to be one of the few black celebrities who got it in with the new presidency. That's what I feel like, you know what I mean? So, and that's the way to say, fuck you, Jay-Z and Beyonce. Now I'm going to the White House. You ain't getting no calls. Now you calling me, I can't pick up your call. Why? I was at the White House. Same fucking excuse you gave me when you didn't return my fucking call that time.
Right.
That's what I think it is, some petty shit like that. It ain't that you trying to do shit for Chicago. Nigga, Obama is from Chicago. Why you ain't meet up with him to talk about the plight of Chicago? Now all of a sudden you saying you going there to try to do some shit for Chicago?
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about Kanye's whole breakdown when he just walked out on his concert and then just canceled
Shit
the rest
happened
of
right
it?
after that, all that Trump shit.
Yeah. Because he canceled the rest of the St. Pablo tour in America and then canceled the whole European tour.
Right.
On top of that.
I mean, that might, you know, for some people, they probably saying, well, that kind of might explain why he met with Trump. Like, he was bugging. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this man
yeah,
going,
like
this man going crazy. Like, you know? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, you know, I think the boy has been very troubled ever since his mom passed, you know. Rest in peace to her. And, you know, I think he needs to find a way to ease his mind, man. Start meditating, some shit like that. But what he's doing now, you know, bugging out, dyeing your hair blonde, that ain't the fucking solution, bro.
Well, I mean, dyeing your hair blonde or rainbow colored is whatever. I mean,
Nah, that's a symptom of what's in your mind, like of a dissatisfaction, of a, you know, he's bugging. Trust me, that's not no little shit. So all of a sudden, we never did that shit before. Like, what the fuck?
take a look at yourself. In a way, and hear me out before you jump all over me.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, what you did is kind of similar to what Lil Yachty did. You built up a movement for a certain group of people that the mainstream does not agree with, but a group of people really fuck with you. And some people fuck with you because they disagree, but they still fuck with you just to hear what you got to say so they could feel a certain type of way about it. And over the years, with Vlad TV's help, millions of people have gotten to experience the Lord Jamar thing. And you built your own lane. It is not traditional. Nobody from your era has done this in the same way, to the same level of exposure and so forth. And people will say, like, hip-hop purists will be like, yo, Jamar lives on Vlad's couch. Does he rap anymore? You know, does this guy even do music? You know, et cetera, et cetera. They slander you. They talk shit, whatever.
Why does he keep fucking with that culture vulture?
Yeah, exactly. Why does he fuck with the white man? And, you know, this, that, and the third. But you went ahead and carried on with great results. Like, at the time that Brand Nubian came out, you could say that Grand Puba was the main star of Brand Nubian. He was the standout. Fast forward to 2017, you ask most people, who do they know, Lord Jamar or Grand Puba? And the answer is always going to be Lord Jamar.
Right, because I used this internet medium
Yeah.
to, you know, reinvent myself in a way,
Yep.
introduce myself in a way, whether you like it or not, to a new audience.
Yep.
But that's where the comparison between me and a Lil Yachty stops.
Right. And in return, and you know, we've talked about this before, over time, it's helped the bookings of Brand Nubian. You guys have gotten more shows and more appearances
Absolutely.
and stuff like that. So it all worked out in the long run.
Because it's hard for you to now, see out of sight, out of mind a lot of times.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of probably dope groups that just, you haven't seen them in a while, so you kind of forget them. So promoters might be like thinking about, okay, I want to do an old school group. Who do I get? But you ain't seen these motherfuckers, so they didn't just necessarily come straight to your
Right,
mind.
because we were just talking about the Art of Rap tour.
Right.
And I said, who's on there? You said Roxanne Shante. I'm like, oh shit, Roxanne Shante. I forgot about her. Not to take away from her.
Though. Yeah, she be doing a lot of shows.
Yeah, but not to take away from who she is.
Right.
We just haven't seen her.
And you probably would be, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay.
Yeah, like, and when you're making a list, you'd probably forget about Roxanne Shante.
Even though you might love Roxanne
Even
Shante.
though you might love
know
Roxanne
what I'm saying?
Shante, but you're going to be like, Brand New. First you're going to think Lord Jamar. They're like, oh yeah, he's in Brand Nubian. Word, Brand Nubian. We're going to put him on the book. Is that what happened pretty much?
I mean, you know, it's not like every single person is gonna be like, this is why we booked y'all, but you know, I know the science, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
So if you compare like your bookings in 2016 versus, let's say, 2010, before we started fucking with each other.
Vlad want all the credit.
No, I don't want all the credit. I'm just talking about exposure. I'm just talking about exposure.
Definitely, yeah, I would say, yeah. Like, we've constantly been working this whole time, but I definitely have been seeing a higher frequency of bookings since I've been doing this type of shit. Absolutely.
Right. So what I'm saying is, you have created a movement. People may like it. People may hate it. You clearly have both. But you created a movement using the internet.
Right.
Lil Yachty created a movement using the internet. And what Talib is saying is that more artists of your era should see what Yachty have done Yachty has done and what you have done and learn from that.
Right. And now more artists from this era need to look at what we did creatively and learn from that. And now combine the two of their innovation of being able to promote themselves combined with a higher quality of artistry, you see? Then each one teach one. Don't just tell me I got to learn from these little babies, but they don't learn nothing from me. Sure, I'll take a fucking page out of their fucking book, but we wrote the fucking book. So sit down and read this motherfucker before you try to put me up on your shit.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But I'm willing to learn. I don't feel like I know everything. Nobody knows everything. Nobody knows it all. Knowledge is infinite, so you can't know everything. But I know a lot of things.
Yachty went on, I think, Ebro's show and said that he wants to sit down with you.
Yeah, well, come on, Yachty. Come get this mentorship. I'll put you on, bro. I'll set you straight.
Well, I think we forget how young Yachty is. Isn't he like 19?
Listen, when I see him talk sometimes, like when I saw that, I'm like, yo, this guy, I almost feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Because it turns out he is a little younger than I thought he was.
Yeah, because he looks like, because you know, he's big. He's like a big kind of baby Huey kind of.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So you think he's like 25, 28, but he's really still a teenager.
Right. So it's like, and then he says, you know, he don't drink or smoke, and you know he's trying to be clean. Like,
He goes to church,
good for him. Like, good for him. You know what I mean?
helps his mother out.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love all of that. That's positive.
Yeah,
like,
he
you know
even
what I
said
mean?
something like, what I think was dope was he showed this picture where he got his mom like all these designer bags, right? Like these, it was like Chanel and Birkin bags. And like it was like ridiculous amount of bags.
Mm-hmm.
And someone's like, "That's so ridiculous. Why don't you pay off her school loans or buy her a house?" And he's like, you know, or give her some money or something. He's like, "Well, I've already bought her a house and paid off her school loans, and my bank account is her bank account. So as long as I got money, she got money." And I'm like, I like that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I like that.
That's beautiful. I got no problem with that type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I just got problem with the simple Simon Says type of shit that it seems like they're almost forcing. They're trying to force down our throats, and they're influencing the new young black artists to do this type of music, right? But when it comes to a lot of the underground white artists, these motherfuckers are still doing the real hip hop at a high fucking level, and they're able to fucking got their sales and all that type of shit, because you got a certain amount of white people that fuck with strictly these white MCs. And I'm talking about like the Vinnie Paz's, Apathy, and I like these guys.
But these are also older artists.
Yeah, but you know what I mean?
Well, like fast forward to let's just say a G-Eazy, right? Where it's
Yeah,
like,
well, yeah,
this is
nah,
not a very
nah,
lyrical
yeah.
guy. Yeah, this is not a knock.
What I'm
G-Eazy.
saying is they might be a little older, but they still were carrying that real hip hop torch where a lot of black artists had dropped it at that time. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that always seems to happen. Like, for example, like, who's holding down breakdancing right now? The Asians.
Asians.
See what I'm saying?
Asians.
The
Yep,
Asians
yep.
hold down breakdancing. Like, I'm not sure what's going on with graffiti because I don't follow it very closely, but I bet you, well, I don't bet you, like, if you look in, like, Europe, that's actually who's holding down graffiti.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
the Germans and stuff like
definitely,
that.
definitely.
See what I'm saying? It's like...
Even Spanish too, though, I'd say, though,
Yeah.
like certain Spanish.
So, did you watch the Golden Globes?
No, I had to leave out.
Did you see any of the clips, though? The Donald Glover speech?
No. But I'm happy that he won for Atlanta, although I didn't get to see the show yet.
You didn't get to
but-
see the show?
No, I heard it's great, though.
It's good. I mean, I've had arguments with my employees in the
Okay.
office.
I haven't seen it yet, so I can't comment.
I think it's good. I appreciate that it's there. I felt like it just could have been so much more, and the script itself didn't go as far as it could have, because it didn't, like, there are certain episodes that's just nothing happened. You know what I'm saying? It's like you watch the beginning, you get to the end, and you're like, nothing happened. And there was a lot of loose ends that never really got tied up and so forth. But it got renewed. I mean, it won a Golden Globe. Clearly, it's going to keep going for a little while. So it is what it is. But the one thing about that everyone focused on was when Don Glover won, he shouted out the Migos.
I think he's just trying to be funny right there. Come on.
Well,
Bad and Bougie is the best song ever. Come on.
Best song ever. And in
He's
fact,
just being funny.
when he did his post interviews, he said that the Migos are the new Beatles. Now the Migos did have a cameo on Atlanta.
Okay.
One of the episodes they showed up. So Bad and Bougie being the best song ever.
That was just some funny. That was just a funny thing to say at the Golden Globes. He got a chuckle out of it. That's not supposed to be taken seriously. Come on.
But he went on to say that the Migos are the new Beatles. I don't think he's being funny. I don't think he's...
I think saying Bad and Bougie, that particular song, that was funny. Now, are the Migos the new Beatles? That might be debatable upon certain people's,
I mean, how many hit records?
perspective. That's what I'm saying. Like, here's the thing about the Migos. It seems like, for me, every time they come with a hit, I don't know it's them.
You can't tell Quavo.
I didn't know Bad and Bougie was the Migos.
A bitch is bad and bougie.
Because they all sound like, all these new motherfuckers that come out, they all sound alike to me.
Well, they all sound like the Migos who started it.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
So
that's what it is.
All I'm saying is, a lot of times I'm like, oh, that's the Migos? Like, oh yeah, I kind of like that song. Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe it's because there's 3 of them and this, I don't know, but like, a lot of times I can't just hear a record and be like, oh yeah, that's the Migos. Like, I just thought that was some new motherfuckers right there. Like, I might have just figured out that, like, you might have just told me that was the Migos. I know the Bad and Bougie song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, the song went to #1 right afterwards.
Good for them.
They got like 10 million streams, like right
You know what I
off the
mean?
bat.
Yeah, they got a lot of hit records. And
Quavo in particular, who's like the guy who does most of the choruses.
Okay. Yeah, well.
Hit records by him, with the group, and he goes and does this, cameo shit where he just kills it. He's like the new Nate Dogg.
Without singing, though, right?
He kind of sings. It's interesting comparing them to the Beatles, though, because that really shook up the thing, because...
Don't shake me up.
Well, so you don't like the Beatles at all?
No, it's not that I don't like them, but again, I don't hold them in the same esteem and regard that white people do.
John Lennon?
I don't hold them in the same esteem and regard as white people do. John Lennon was, an insightful person, and, he has some deep lyrics and all of that, but,
I mean, there's songs like Let It Be.
Great song.
What was that one? Dun, dun.
They got great songs. As, again, I'm going
Imagine. Like, you remember that song, Imagine? Imagine there's no heaven. Like,
see, there's 2 different worlds, B. There's the black world and there's the white world.
Okay.
In the white world, the Beatles, is the fucking shit. Elvis, is the shit. In the black world, the Temptations is way fucking better than the Beatles. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, all right.
Beatles.
Okay.
These motherfuckers are copying our fucking people, and now you want to put them on a pedestal again. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Wait, you think the Beatles copied black artists?
Absolutely, they'll tell you. They looked up to fucking blues motherfuckers and all that type of soul artists and all that type of shit, just like your boy Elvis.
The Rolling Stones definitely did.
Yeah,
the Rolling
all of them, all of those English motherfuckers, all of their shit was based off of black music, and they'll tell you it was.
So, are there any white artists that you hold in high esteem?
That I hold in high esteem?
High esteem. Is there any white artists at all?
Wow, that's a good
That's a good question, isn't it? Well, okay, so we've already had the Eminem discussion,
right?
So we'll just throw that out there. So, and let's just even throw hip hop out of the equation. Mm-hmm. Let's just say fuck hip hop, because at the end of the day, I know that you love music, not just hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's just say, let's look at some of the biggest white artists.
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
I do not hold him in high esteem.
I'm not a huge Bob Dylan fan.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay, but
they
that's
fucking love Bob Dylan.
people love. Well, an older generation loves Bob Dylan. Like
They act like he is. You know what I mean?
I've never been a Bob Dylan fan. What about the Eagles?
You know, I used to kind of like the Eagles when I was young, but again,
The Eagles are dope.
I can name 10 black groups from that era probably that were better. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I'm not. Okay, so like for example, like Hotel California. Don't you think that
great,
was
dope song. I love that song.
incredible song?
Yes, love it. We're not gonna feel like, hell yeah, Elton John. Like, get the fuck out of here. None of them.
David Bowie.
Absolutely not. He was horrible.
He was
had
horrible?
one fucking song, maybe two that black people fuck with. Let's Dance and
Under Pressure.
Pressure was okay, B.
Dum, 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 dum.
B, that's some white people shit. Again, we didn't think
Fame.
and the other one that I said. Those are the only two ones that we really fucked with. All that other Iggy Starship bullshit, we didn't fuck with none of that shit. And y'all loved it.
Johnny Cash.
Johnny fucking the Man in Black, only because he wore black.
He was gangster.
Yeah, he has some gangster shit
Right.
now. That's what I used to
Kill
like
a
because he
man
used to
just to
rhyme
watch
about
him die.
guns and shit like that.
Folsom City Blues.
That
like-
was some hard, and I like the fact that he used to go to jails and shit
Yeah,
like
he
that.
used to perform in prison. In fact, the Folsom City Blues performed in Folsom prison.
Listen,
Like,
my mother used to love country music. She probably still does to this day. Like,
Yeah.
so I grew up listening to country music at
right.
times. Like, you know what I mean?
Like Ray Charles, for example, loved country music and started to do country music.
Right. Exactly. But the one before him was Charlie Pride, I think was the black dude that did country music. He was like a famous black country music singer and shit. But again, you take any white person from any genre of music, I don't hold none of them in high self-esteem. In high esteem, like, yo. I mean, you know what? Damn.
Rolling Stones were dope. Rolling Stones had some smash.
You know who I used to like when I was young?
Who's that?
Frank Sinatra.
He was dope.
Frank Sinatra was dope.
Being a New Yorker, you know you get hyped when you hear New York, New York.
What?
Come on.
Listen,
Like matter of fact.
you know what I think I might have liked about Frank Sinatra is that, like, he sung like a white boy. He wasn't necessarily trying to sing like he was black.
He was Italian. He relished it.
He might be the only one that I'm like, okay, because I like his style, all of that. He had mad broads,
Right.
fucking.
Fucks with gangsters. Right.
He might be the only one.
In fact, as a New Yorker, there is no bigger New York anthem than Frank Sinatra's New York, New York. Jay-Z and
You know how
Alicia
many-
Keys are cool, but it ain't fucking with New York.
There's
New
nothing
York.
like being at Yankee Stadium,
Yeah.
winning a fucking baseball game, especially a big one, and that shit come on.
Right.
That's bringing the
It's
tears
up
out. I don't
to
give a
you.
fuck who you are. The tears start welling up. New York, New York.
Exactly.
Yeah, he might be the only one that I might hold in high self-esteem. Okay, you know who I like, and I actually had
You hear that song, New York State of Mind?
the privilege of working with this guy is Peter Gabriel. Peter Gabriel's dope.
Yeah, Peter Gabriel's very dope.
Yeah, he's dope.
Yeah, Sledgehammer.
But I'm a little biased. Yeah.
Yeah. You worked with him?
Yeah, I did some ESPN shit with him.
ESPN shit? What do you mean?
Like he got a song called Games Without Frontiers. You know that song?
War Without Fears.
Right. So we kind of remixed that. He gave me the original tracks to that song. I sampled it, made a hip hop beat out of it, and then we did like an ESPN for the X Games. We did an ESPN like promo type of thing, and I rhymed on it.
Or was he actually there? Or?
Well, no, we wasn't actually there, but he directly gave me the tracks. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like he don't work with a lot of people, so they let him know it was me. And he was like, yeah, and he sent me the reels to the shit, and then he sang the hook and all that type of shit. Yeah, so, but he live in London, so.
Well, at least we pulled out a Frank Sinatra out of you.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. No one else.
As a matter of fact, Nat King Cole's probably better than him. Move on!
Yeah, but you throw Nat King Cole on at a Yankees game, they ain't gonna get the same type of response though.
It's the song.
It's the song.
Yeah, I hit a perfect song with that New
A
York.
perfect
That's all
song.
the stars are lined up for that song.
Stars
it was the singer,
spreading the
the
news.
song, the instruments, the
leaving
speed,
today.
everything came together in a beautiful crescendo of a song, and he happened to be the singer. But if Nat King Cole sing it, I don't know how big it would have been.
There was an interview with former NBA coach George Karl, where he said that he talked about how most of the players that he's coached don't have a father around.
Deep.
Yeah. And he said that most of them are raised by their mothers or more often their grandmothers or sometimes an aunt and so forth. And he said, you have to have a father around. And he said, and he even made it, and he said this was kind of a joke, but he said, yeah, that's why most of them wear earrings. And he said, I'm joking about that. But, you know,
But subliminally.
that's
Maybe.
actually kind of how he feels.
No, and it might be true.
Possibly. Possibly. Your ears are pierced, right?
I had this side pierced back in the days,
Yeah.
but when you back then, once you got knowledge, they was like, nah, you gotta take that earring shit out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you haven't had an earring in your ear in decades?
I had 2 in this ear.
Okay.
Back then, you couldn't go both ears like
Yeah.
that because the right side meant you was gay.
Right.
Left side means
Yeah. What was the term they
Good
used back
money.
then? They said left is right.
basically. Yeah, and right is left. And both is, was basically saying that you was bi or some shit
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
You know what I
Whereas
mean?
these days, most certain types of people usually have 2 earrings.
Yeah, only because they just want to
Yeah.
doubly stunt, like
Doubly
you know what I
stunt,
mean.
right.
And that's why we would sometimes do 2 in one ear so that you could just rock both of the earrings.
Right. So you had a father in your household growing up, right?
No,
You didn't.
no,
You just had your mother
and my grandmother.
and your grandmother. How often was your father around?
Once in a while,
Once in a while, meaning once a year.
it would depend on the year.
So sometimes a year would pass where you wouldn't see your father.
But no more than, I guess, 2 years. That's a long time, I know.
Very long time.
But, yeah.
So this is a conversation that I've been having with people where if you're raised just around women and women are more emotional than men, do you in turn grow up to be a man who's overly emotional?
Probably. You're going to have definitely elements of that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, of whoever you looked up to.
Yeah. Do you feel that you're overly emotional because you didn't have your father around?
I think I used to be very emotional,
You had,
especially when I was younger.
you had to grow out of it.
Yeah. I know my mom's had a short temper, and then I used to have a short temper. Me and all my brothers. You know what I mean? But see, that's a weird thing, too, because we was all boys, so that was helpful, though.
All your brothers, same father?
Yes.
How many?
There's 3 of us.
So your dad had 3 kids and then bounced out.
Well, see, it's weird. It's like he was with my mom's and like, they might have lived together when I was like 1 or some shit like that.
I'm the oldest. You're the oldest.
Yeah, check this out.
Okay.
So now they she moved out or whatever, but they still married and, he would slide through and here comes another one. She ended up having 2 kids with him without them even living together. You understand? And they have always been married. Like, they married to this day. Like, they never got divorced.
But they were separated.
Yes.
So,
But not like on paper. They just haven't lived together since I was a kid.
So, don't take this the wrong way. I'm sure you love your brothers. But why did your mom decide to keep 2 more kids, even though clearly the father was not really around, it seems, based on the way you explained it? Did she just not believe in abortion?
Probably. I think she's that type of a woman that,
Okay.
you know, yeah, I don't think she believed in abortion. And she, you know, she loved my pops or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, to this day, like, you know what I mean? Like, they really love each other. It's just they couldn't get along, like, living together, like, you know what I mean?
So here you are, growing up with your mother and your grandmother, with your 2 brothers.
Yep.
So you have 3 boys growing up. And Pops would come through once a year, once every other year.
Well, sometimes he come through every few months or something, you know.
For how long?
Sometimes, you know, a couple days and then bounce.
So you don't really have a father in your life.
Not at that time, no.
Yeah.
I mean, me and him is cool now.
Yeah.
That we grown, but
But it's when you're an adult, your relationship with your parents is much different than when you are still learning how to be a man.
And that's why you got to find your father figures.
Yeah.
You see? So where do we find them? TV, fucking on the street. You know what I mean? Movies.
Who was your main father figure?
At that time, when I was young, probably, you know what I mean? Probably the father from Good Times.
Yeah, but you can't.
Like, seriously.
Right. No, I mean, I understand what you're saying. You're looking at him and, okay, this is how a man should act.
There was no man around me at that time.
But you can't have a conversation with a guy on your TV screen. You can't ask him questions.
No, but you could look at how he moves and try to move like that.
Right. But
that's all you can do.
But you can't have a conversation with him.
No.
It's a one-way. It's a one-way form of communication.
Mm-hmm.
So, who were you talking to about questions about being a man as you were becoming a man?
Your friends. You know what I mean?
Who
don't know.
Who don't know.
You see what I'm saying? Well, but here's the thing. I used to also be with a little bit older crowd.
Okay.
You understand? So, like, I wouldn't look at them necessarily as father figures, but maybe a big brother figure type of shit. You understand what I'm saying? Where, you know, they might have been trying to show me some shit, but some of the shit they were showing me was bad shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, how to sell drugs and shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, but I can't really say that I had a father figure. Like, when I got to 6th grade, that was the first time I had a male teacher. You know, Mr. Seiden, and he was cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Mr. Seiden was cool. And it was refreshing kind of to almost have a male teacher, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, I swear, like, you know, I just used to read a lot of books on, like, black athletes, Muhammad Ali, fucking Nate Archibald, Dr. J, like, those was my father figures. Like, honestly, like, and although they can't talk back to me, it's just, you just kind of look at these dudes and, you know, and you just kind of be like, that's what I want to be like.
So if you take a step back and you look at black males who grow up in a similar environment, and you look at, for example, Chicago, and the murder rates and people acting out, you see people acting out on the internet, you see this type of thing. Do you think it's because you have so many situations of kids growing up in a similar situation as you?
I mean, it's never one thing. You know what I mean? That's one piece of the puzzle of the problem.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
It's a big piece.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know what I mean? When you dismantle something, you know what I mean? You have your whole body. If I take your arm off, that's a fucking problem.
It is.
Because I've now gave you a handicap, okay?
So you're growing up, you grew up with a handicap.
Yes.
Your brothers grew up with a handicap.
Yes. But see, not as bad because they had me to look up to.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And I made shit a little bit easier for them.
What's the age difference between y'all?
Well, we pretty close though. Like me and my brother that's below me, we like 18 months apart.
Okay.
And
Your mom had a back-to-back. Yeah.
Yeah, but then my youngest brother might be a couple years younger than him. So
Right. So, I mean,
3-4 years, something like that.
so they had a little... So do you notice a difference between your youngest brother and yourself in terms of the way you guys deal with the world?
Do I see a difference?
Yeah. Do you feel that he's a little bit more... less emotional than you,
Yes.
at least back then,
Yes. Even now.
even now?
Yeah, he's probably the calmest one out of all of us. Mm-hmm. But he will wild out on your ass. But he's probably, you know, like, he's just not the type of motherfucker that's gonna fly off the handle, you know. I used to be just real, like, you know, you know what I mean? Like the minute something, you know, like. But that's some bullshit, like, you know what I mean?
When Gucci Mane got engaged, everyone's like, you see all these dudes, oh, yo, I gotta get engaged. Everyone, because, so many people look up to Gucci, because he's like the...
Do what he does.
Yeah.
And see, that's why he got a lot of influence. So now when someone like him,
Yeah.
if he decides to say, just like he came out, he lost weight.
Yeah.
How many people did he inspire maybe to lose weight?
Probably a lot.
Like, and that's beautiful.
Or the fact that he stopped doing drugs and drinking.
Right. How many people?
Because Gucci was the epitome of the ignorant rapper.
Right.
And now he has become the most straight-laced, straightforward type person. He cleaned himself up, stopped doing drugs, stopped doing drinking, got engaged, and has been getting the biggest hits of his career.
Right.
Like Black Beatles was his first #1 song.
Right.
Like it wasn't his song, but he was featured on it.
Because karmically, he's doing the right thing, and the universe is saying, you see, that's all you had to do.
Yeah, and also the fact that when you're sober, you can just get more shit accomplished. You're not zoned out half the time.
This is true.
You watched the Soulja Boy video?
Which one?
The interview that I did?
I hop out, I start shooting. Bow, 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 bow. Shot the nigga. Bow, shot his ass. Bow, 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 bow. All the niggas run out the door, they run out the door. This nigga on the floor. Feel me? Walk up to this nigga, take his mask off his head. Looked at it, saw who it was. I'm like, damn. Shot his ass again. Bow! He screaming and shit. Ah! Bow! I shut the door.
All of this shit here. So I shot him. With the arm back. Like
Arm back, yeah.
Like he's on a mechanical bull and shit. I shot him. Blow. Blow. My shit is, niggas say Big Soulja ain't front of, get the fuck off me.
Right.
That's my shit. That's my Soulja Boy video. Let's do a Soulja Boy challenge like that.
Well, did you see the interview about the guy who he actually shot? Okay, so you slapped him open hand, and then he pulled out his gun,
That's exactly what he did.
and then
was
he
just
just
like
shot
this.
you.
It was just like this. I said, what you gonna do with that? So I slapped him again.
Two times.
Okay. And then after you slapped him again, he let off?
That's when he let off. That's when I got hit right here, in the front of my thigh. That was the first shot.
How many times did you get hit?
5.
What are the different areas you got hit?
I got hit right here on my arm. Feel me? I got hit right here on my waist. I got right here on my front of my thigh. Then I got the two in my ass.
And what, you try to turn around and run, or what happened?
I do turn around and run. I make it out the house.
This is what I hope people realize about me. Like, I'm not so thirsty that I'm gonna try to, like, exploit every little thing that I say on here. Like this motherfucker did his own Soulja Boy challenge. Soulja Boy did his own Soulja Boy challenge, then made a record called the Soulja Boy Challenge.
Right.
Although the Soulja Boy Challenge is about clowning you, my dude, but he don't give a fuck. Fame and trending is good for him. Like that's all he's looking at. So it's just like, I don't know, like motherfuckers, you know, now you say your man got a record called 2 times.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
and that to me was sort of odd because
like
it's
you slapped a nigga, yeah, but you got shot after.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather. I mean, I wouldn't get shot over 2 slaps. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but he got his story out there. And I think a lot of it was also that Soulja Boy was sort of alluding in my interview and other interviews that he killed him.
Right,
and he hit me up and said, I'm not dead.
Right.
I wanna tell my side of the story. And I'm like, okay, are you gonna show the bullet wounds and everything? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right.
You know what I thought was funny when you interviewed the dude Soulja? You like, so tell me what happened. He said, well, tell me what you heard.
Let me compare the story really.
Yeah, let me see what you heard. That way I could get my shit together of what I'm going to say really had happened. But which story did you hear? Okay, all right. Gotcha. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, people focus on that one, on that part of the interview. But now you have Soulja Boy versus Chris Brown.
Right.
Number one, do you think it's going to happen?
Haven't there been threats about celebrity boxings like this before and it didn't happen?
There's been celebrity boxing.
Yeah, back in the day.
I mean, Sticky Fingers.
Yeah, that was a really long time ago, though.
Yeah, and didn't Freddie Fox?
Yeah, he Bumpy Knuckles. He got the belt. Bumpy Knuckles got the belt.
Yeah.
He got the Rappers Championship boxing belt.
Okay.
Okay. That being said, if it did happen, I wouldn't think it's a bad thing. I mean, you know, it's better than dudes like fighting and throwing bottles in the club or trying to shoot each other's fucking entourages and all that. Y'all motherfuckers want to talk shit, talk about whooping each other's ass? All right, take your ass in the ring.
Who do you think is going to win?
Chris Brown can beat the shit out of that boy. And that's just based on, you know, videos I've seen of Chris Brown training with his man and Soulja Boy trying to fight, trying to train on the treadmill and all this other shit he was doing.
Both of them are real skinny.
Skinny don't matter. The skinny motherfuckers that'll fuck you up.
There is something called the weight class in boxing. You don't,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
But there's also something called skill
There
outdoes no skill. And a motherfucker who is lighter and skinnier than somebody could knock a big nigga out.
Right.
The
but
bigger
you
they come, the harder they fall. That's real shit.
You throw Floyd in the ring with Mike Tyson, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Right, but you put Floyd in the ring with an untrained motherfucker who's bigger than him.
But
and
both
see
of
what
them,
happens.
I mean, but honestly, both of them are untrained.
Chris Brown is an athlete. Like, Chris Brown is an athlete.
He's a dancer.
He's an athlete, B.
Yeah.
The way he dances is not just a dancer. This motherfucker be doing some shit. Yeah, I done seen his show. I was at a show of his in Atlanta one time, and this motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, he's a dancer.
Yo, he puts on some shit and timing. See, all of that type of shit goes with it. So it's like.
Here's my thing, though.
Form.
Like, Soulja Boy is bragging about how he got $1 million to do this match, right? So let's just say Chris Brown got the same million. $1 million ain't shit to Chris Brown. Chris Brown can make $1 million doing a couple shows. You know, like, he could get that $1 million without anyone punching him in the face.
Right.
And even though Soulja Boy, I completely respect his legacy. You know, he was the first internet rapper. He was, you know, he had platinum albums and songs and everything else like that. Like, he's really started a lot of the shit that you see today. Chris Brown is still a very viable artist right now with hit records on. Like, I bet you flip around the stations, you will hear a Chris Brown song right now. You will not hear any Soulja Boy songs.
Absolutely.
Like, Chris Brown continues to drop hits
After hits.
after hit. He has a full-blown career that's probably never going to go away, unless he just fucks up his voice completely or he just does something completely
Right.
over the top. But, because he beat up a woman and he still continued to be a viable artist. So clearly he has to molest a child or something to the point where people will just blacklist him. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be something just so over the fucking top where no one could really connect to it. You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck would Chris Brown agree to it?
Because he don't like this motherfucker and he want to put hands on him. And this is the best way to do it without getting locked up. That's why. Simple as that.
Simple as that.
It's not about the money and all that. I don't like this little motherfucker. For whatever reason it is, this motherfucker get under my skin. I said I'm gonna fucking, how they be saying it, I'm gonna give him the fade. I'm gonna give him the fade.
Run the fade.
Yeah, I'm gonna run the fade. And yeah, they gonna fade each other. And that motherfucker gonna fade to black. Mike Tyson said, if you show up, it's going down.
And then Mike Tyson has a rap.
I'm gonna teach your ass, I'm gonna teach him how to knock your ass out.
I personally think all four of them are just trolling the world right now.
Yo, they trying to see how much money they can make off the shit and just laugh at everybody like at the
I
end
mean,
of that
everyone's
shit.
gonna tune in. I mean, don't
You
get it twisted.
motherfucking right,
Don't
they will.
Don't get it twisted.
That's what I'm saying. You can make some money. That's why they just like,
Maybe.
50 said, oh, wait a minute. Yo, we could really, so you know what? Get Soulja Boy on the phone. Tell him stop all this pocket shot. Get that goddamn Draco out. Let this thing going.
And now like the undercard, they're trying to get like 21 Savage versus 22 Savage.
That would have been dope, though. Like, you know what I mean? Not
Rico
for nothing.
Reckless versus Snap Dogg. Like, they're trying to get all the dudes.
Why not?
If they all down to do it, why not? See, the thing is, though, I think that certain people are just too scared.
Give me some money. I'll beat up your man Yellow Wolf. I'll beat the shit out of him.
Oh, so you'll do the undercard.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, so this is official.
I'll beat the shit out of Yellow Wolf. Put me on that undercard.
The undercard is Lord Jamar versus Yellow Wolf.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Right now.
Yellow
Word
Wolf.
is bond. I'll beat the shit out of that boy.
How do you feel about certain things? Like, you don't have a college degree.
Nope. I got a GED.
Oh, so you didn't graduate high school.
Nope.
How do you feel in your community that degrees and so forth are not celebrated?
Why do I feel like degrees are not celebrated?
Yeah. Because a degree is not the end all and be all, but I could tell you, for example, as me being an example, I don't know what anyone else goes through, but me, myself, the reason why Vlad TV exists and has been so successful is because I have a computer science degree from Berkeley. Mm-hmm. And the shit that I learned from those days, I apply to this current business. Mm-hmm. And Vlad TV is as much a technology company as it is a content company. It's the, you know what I mean? This is why you see certain other sites that just don't do as well as us, because they don't have a technologist at the helm. They have to hire someone, and they can't really relate to that person. You know, I don't do any of the programming myself, but I interact with my programmer on a technical level, and I set the technical direction of where we go. So a hip-hop company is run by someone with a degree and is successful because of someone with a degree. Mm-hmm. And hopefully this will set an example for other people who want to start companies like mine. You know what I mean? But why do you think degrees are not celebrated in the same way?
I don't know if it's that degrees are not celebrated. I think degrees are celebrated. I think did you pay student loan off?
Eventually, yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Like-
Not right away, but it took some years, but yeah, eventually I paid it off.
Okay. Because some people are paying their shit so far down the road, and these are white people. So like,
Well, it's most people. Most people can't pay off their degrees, right?
what I'm saying is, you know, the average black person, that threshold right there of, I need money right now. Okay? You're talking about going to school for 4 years, paying for that, owing money
Yeah. While not making money.
while not making money.
Yeah.
And then I'm supposed to, from there, enter the workforce and hopefully get a job that is consummate of the degree that I went to school for.
Right.
For a lot of black people, especially in poverty, those are odds that we can't afford to roll the dice on.
Well, it's short-term thinking versus long-term thinking.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Which is
But there's
always going to be a problem.
Right, but you can talk about short-term and long-term thinking, and there's also short-term and long-term realities. You know, so yes, we want to train people to start thinking in the long term, but also you are kind of thinking in the long term. Like, let's make no mistake about it. Going to school, going to college is basically a debt trap. It's a way to get people in debt before they even enter the workforce. Now you're in debt and you can't get from under this fucking rock. You know, some people take them 30 years to fucking pay this shit off. Literally. Like, and that's crazy. And that ain't somebody that went to Harvard or some shit like that. That's a motherfucker that went to a regular college.
You know, regular college, I mean, there was expensive-ass regular private schools that I'd never heard of that it's like $30,000 a year and so forth. I get that.
Right. So what I'm saying is, if I'm looking long term and I'm figuring out that this is a scam, and I don't want to get down with that scam, because first of all, getting a degree, there's no guarantee, again, that you're going to get into the field that you're talking about.
No, there is no guarantee, but I could tell you as an employer, right? Mm-hmm. If I have two people, you know, I recently had a situation where I had a choice between two candidates. Both were good. Both had good interviews with us. Both had, you know, we gave them writing tests. They came back. They both looked good. One of them had a degree from Columbia. One of them did not. We went with the guy from Columbia. And
I think that's unfortunate.
well,
If that was the determining factor, and you didn't just go by also, if you didn't also consider your intuition,
well,
as far as your vibe.
No, the vibe was good with both of them. We decided to go with the guy from Columbia. As someone who went to school myself, I understand that you can't discount 4 years of training at college and the type of work ethic that gives you. It's training. You're getting 4 years of training. Like you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Like, most people don't jump into rap. No one really decides to be a rapper and then a week later they have a hit song. They go through training.
These days you can.
Not really.
Yes.
I mean, yes, there's an anomaly here and there, but in general, to be good at any field, it requires a certain degree of training. You know, this guy had a writing degree from was it Columbia, and we figured, okay, you know, this guy's been trained by a top trainer. We're gonna go with him. He hit the ground running. He's been one of our fastest learners that we've had. He's he knocks out articles quicker than we've seen with other people. Although, you know, we have great employees. It's just, this is the first time we hired someone like that, and it was like, okay, boom, we got it.
And explain to me all the successful people that never even graduated high school.
I could show you a lot more unsuccessful people who haven't graduated high school.
No, that's not what I asked.
You can always find an anomaly for anything.
It's a pattern when it comes to certain things. These people have learned how to look outside the box. See, when you go into college and school, all of that is memory and training you how to do something the way somebody wants you to do it. They're not necessarily teaching you critical thinking and how to really be innovative and all that type of shit. That's what entrepreneurs and shit do.
It depends. It depends on where you go to school, and depends who your professors were. And quite honestly, some of these top schools attract really smart professors.
Yeah. Listen,
we can agree to disagree.
Yeah, I don't think college and degree. So to go to the original thing, degrees are celebrated. A lot of times, though, the person who gets the degree is not celebrated. Okay, a lot of times it's corny motherfuckers getting the degree, and it's a live, strong alpha who went to jail and came home.
Right.
Sometimes it's that. So if we can get the alphas to really, embrace getting a degree or something like that, which is debatable, really how important it is.
Well,
because there's information and there's knowledge, and
listen.
those are two different things.
No, I got you. My thing is this. I don't care if you get a degree. I don't care if you spend 4 years reading books. I don't care if you do whatever. What I can say is that if you want to get into any field, someone who has a certain degree of training will always have an advantage over someone who's just winging it on their own.
Absolutely. But
I don't care.
But I could have life training. You see?
Like this. You cannot find me any professional athlete that does not have a strong coach behind him. It does not exist. Mm-hmm. It does not exist. So what makes you think that if all your favorite athletes have someone that's training them on an ongoing basis, that you're going to do everything on your own and you're just going to wing it?
No, what I'm saying is, we're talking about degrees here. I didn't say not being trained, because the entrepreneurs who I said who didn't go to high school, who might have not graduated high school, have been trained. They've trained themselves, or somebody mentored them or something.
Exactly.
You're talking about a piece of paper. Going to school to get a piece of paper. That's different than being trained.
That piece of paper requires a certain degree of training. You don't just get that paper for...
Right, and it requires a certain degree of money, and it just requires...
And also focus.
Yeah,
and
a certain mind state, a certain, even a certain lifestyle. Like some families, that's part of the lifestyle. And where some families, that's not part of the lifestyle. Like in some families, it's a given that you're going to college. Some families, not so much.
Not so much, if at all.
Right, because maybe their parents didn't go to college.
No, you're right. I mean, I remember one of my exes, her mom hoped that she would just graduate high school. That was her main goal.
Get them out of high school,
and then yeah,
I've done my job.
I've done my job.
You know what I mean? Like, so,
yep.
Listen, it's not for everybody. Like,
Azalea Banks admitted that she had been sacrificing chickens in her closet for
and I
3 years.
I saw the video, like, yeah.
Was there like blood on the walls and stuff like that?
It was like feathers and blood and shit and yeah.
I have no words. 3 years she's been doing this.
Listen.
Do you know about voodoo?
I know about African spirituality.
Does that involve chickens?
In some, what she was dealing with, it could. You know what I mean? What I was told is that you're not supposed to leave that type of shit. Like, some crazy shit can happen. like by leaving the blood and letting all that shit build up like that. Like, that's not good. Like, you know what I mean? I'm going to say there's a lot of things in African religion that is not understood by the masses. I don't know exactly what she's practicing.
Right. I mean, for example, when I was in New Orleans last time, I had a reading by the Voodoo Queen of New Orleans. Mm-hmm. Who was actually a white
It's called
woman.
Voodoo, really, is the real name of it.
Voodoo Queen.
Yeah, they call it
She
Voodoo.
was actually a white woman, but she was trained in Haiti in the arts. Mm-hmm. And she's now she told me about my past life, which
Was she really trained in Haiti?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Who knows? But she had the title in New Orleans. And New Orleans takes that shit pretty seriously.
Okay. On Bourbon Street, she had the title.
It wasn't Bourbon Street. It was actually out kind of in the outskirts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this wasn't like a tourist attraction.
Oh, okay.
I had to kind of go in the cut. Cut to get it.
All right.
And so I've kind of checked a little bit of it out. I don't, this has been my only kind of thing, but sacrificing chickens in your closet for 3 years is some other shit. It kind of puts some of the pieces together for Azalea Banks, at least in my eyes. You see all the
it
sort
kind of did a little bit for me too. Not that the sacrifice of the chicken, although I'm not into no shit like that, but for some people that is a ritual. You see what I'm saying? But to let that shit build up in your space and all of that type of shit, and the negative energy and all of that she could have brought to herself.
Where do you even get live chickens? Like, you got to go and buy a live chicken.
Oh, you can get live. They got plenty of live markets and shit. Yeah, in the Bronx, Brooklyn.
Oh, word? Okay.
Yeah, because there's some people that actually kill their shit fresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when I was in Senegal, they had chickens and goats and stuff like that, and they literally killed the animals for our food. It was great. I dug it, but...
Yeah, some spirits want blood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that's, if you're into that shit, then they say that that's real.
Have you seen any of these types of blood sacrifices before? No. Not your thing.
No, not at all. I don't know. See, these are all like outskirts from the original African religions. These are, they'll have elements of the original African religion, which is called Metu Neter. Basically, all religions that exist are fragments of this original religion. So you'll find, within Islam, Buddhism, Judaism, Christianity, they all have fragments of the whole, but they think they got the whole thing. It's like the mirror has been broken, you hold up your piece, and you think you have the whole mirror.
Okay.
You see? When we all really need to come together, and you take your piece, put that together with this piece, and then that's what the fuck it is. But right now, everybody thinks their thing is the right thing and the only thing. And that's not true.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I had one interaction with Azalea Banks. Like, we started to DM each other, and it started out very friendly and cordial, and by about the 4th or 5th DM, it
got crazy.
It went left, and she started insulting me and calling my viewers idiots and saying that we don't understand nothing and blah blah. So okay, I had enough of that. I kept it moving. I guess to me there's also the weirdness with Azalea that she seems to be on this pro-black thing, and yet she turns around and bleaches her skin.
Listen, we can free ourselves of one chain and then try to get up and realize there's another chain somewhere else. You see? Or sometimes we'll free ourselves of this chain and not realize there's other chains and now think we're free. You see, there's many chains, there's many things that you have to release yourself from in order to truly reach enlightenment. Okay? This is why they talk about where they say that the Egyptians worshiped death, that's not true. They worshipped the mind almost being in a state of death, meaning to not be influenced by emotions. See, a dead person is not going to be influenced by pussy, by sadness, laughter, nothing. If you can overcome your emotions, like how we was talking about earlier, how some of us are overly emotional, If you can learn how to master your emotions, that's what leads people to be what they call sages and fucking high-level spiritual masters.
Yeah, and this is something that, listen, I get emotional just like everybody else. But I have learned to take a step back, because I've had damn near everybody. I've had so many people talk shit about me on social media, from unknown people wishing I was dead to,
and it's your choice.
To celebrities talking
and
shit about me.
And it's your choice
to not
if
respond.
it's to not only to respond or not, but whether it affects you or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, does it really matter what they say? Is it going to sting? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even if it does sting, do you have to respond to the sting?
Yeah. No, I wish at one point, because I don't respond. You can say whatever the fuck you want about me.
I used to respond.
You're right.
And sometimes no, but I this year
you're not responding.
I'm definitely on some emotional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Control your emotions.
I have people
more.
close to me, and I'll run it. I'm like, should I respond? And the answer is always no, and they'll explain to me why the answer is no, and I'm like, all right, I respect your opinion. And what I realized is, the next day when I think about it, that sting ain't really there no more, and I'm glad I didn't respond, because it would turn into something else. So you can talk all the shit about me you want. You're not gonna get a response, but I wish I can get to the point where I could look at it and it has absolutely no emotional effect at all.
Right.
Which is why I've gotten to the point where I don't even read comments anymore. I don't look at Twitter replies. I'm focusing on the business, and I'm focusing on the future. All that fuck shit, all it does is distract me from that. But I wish I could get to the point. I think Charlemagne's like that. I think Charlemagne really just doesn't care.
Because you almost get anesthetized to it. It's like, you know what I mean? How many times can somebody talk shit about you before it's like, all right, oh, you're going to say this again? Yeah, I'm not. It's just like, when you first saw Friday the 13th the first time, it was scary as shit. By the time it was like the 13th Friday the 13th, it's like, the fuck out of here. Like, I'm not scared anymore. Like, it's not affecting me the same way. And knowledge will do that.